Hi, I'm Dave Worzel, and you're watching PHTV4 Spotlight. Today on Spotlight, the focus is education. We're talking with Dr. Tim Baker, the principal at Allenby Shepard High School in Palos Heights here. Dr. Baker, thanks for being here.
Always a pleasure, sir.
It is. I look forward to these conversations. We get this kind of period in the summer, catch our breath a little bit, and then, looking forward to what's coming up in the next school year. So we're going to talk about education, what's going on in education, and specifically at Shepard. But I do want to, just a quick check, your background, how long have you been principal now?
So I just finished my second year, going into year three.
But you've been in education for?
24 years. So 4 years my fourth year at Shepard, finished my second year as principal.
All right, well, congratulations. That's the longevity. You hit the mid-20s.
I know, right?
So what we'd like to talk about, maybe first, let's visit the academic part of it. Curriculum changes, whether at the school or district level, or is there anything new coming out of a state or national level that the district has to address?
Yeah, so the state just came out with their list of new mandates, as always, most of them being unfunded, particularly affecting education. There is a new bill out there that is going to require 2 years of a foreign language or CTE course as a high school graduation requirement. So that is new. And then there's some other little curricular changes, like we have to teach about climate change and things like that. And there's always a few of those mandates every year.
So let me ask you the one about the foreign language. That doesn't, which graduating class will that affect? It doesn't affect this group.
No, it doesn't affect this. I think it'll be the current 8th graders.
Okay. All right. So it'll begin then. And then, so there are some subject matter things that are being required to be taught, right? I mean, like you mentioned, something like climate change, a part of that has to be then written in the curriculum. You have to find material then to deliver it.
Right. And a lot of times it's just one unit or one lesson requirement that the state mandates go through. So those are usually pretty easy for us to go through, or we're already doing it 9 times out of 10. We already have it in a unit somewhere. So it's usually a pretty easy change for us. We are adding a couple new courses. We're adding a textile and design course to our CTE world for students that wanted to go into fashion design, things like that.
Nice.
And we're adding a dual credit course with the University of Illinois called Culture of Disability for students that may want to pursue special education in the future. They'll be able to graduate with a U of I transcript and 1 credit already completed.
Wow. That's wonderful. That's exciting. I can't drive by your campus, and even this last year, it feels like there's a lot of construction going on. Theater is open and being used. What else is going on around campus in that regard?
Yeah, the theater is open and being used, which is great. We are getting some new cafeteria furniture. While that doesn't sound exciting, it's going to look way better than the brown tables we have now. Yes. And then, of course, the big reveal will be the new field house and weight room. Yeah, so this would be a pretty cool, big, tall ceiling entryway. Go left to the cafeteria main gym, go right, and that'll take you to the field house, which should open. We're aiming for November 1st. Right now, we are on time and under budget, knock on wood. And so that'll be a fun reveal for us to add that new space. Is going to be a game changer for Shepard. We'll be operating like we did most of last year with kind of one way on campus and one way off, which kind of creates a chokehold for our bottleneck for our arrival and dismissal. But once it opens up, we'll have a full bus lane around the new field house, which will be great. And we'll allow car access the same way, which will then really open up that congestion for the second half of the school year, which will also be nice for families, and it'll also be nice for the community. If anyone's watching, we still apologize for the parents that are dropping off in the neighborhoods and the issues and the strains that's put on some of the residents. And we appreciate their patience and their cooperation while we get this done for our students and community.
It is tough. The start of your school day, the traffic at that intersection. So it sounds like we're all looking forward to second semester right now.
Yes.
Because everybody should be in full swing by then.
Yep. Hopefully before then, but second semester for sure, everything should be up and running and full go.
Other than that, so those are the big projects. It doesn't affect any playing space over there on that side. The drive will wrap around the field house or the new gym space. Yeah,
we lost the practice field out there that we used. Had to relocate our shot put and discus rings, but those were minor changes and we've adapted.
Easy to submit. Good. And everything else, you mentioned new furniture, otherwise in the building, normal maintenance routine.
Yep, normal summer cleaning classrooms and sprucing the place up, painting some walls, things like that.
Okay. The other thing I want to ask, we talked about some of the curricular mandates, other policies coming out of the state or mandates or laws, whatever, that will impact schools. The one that, we're reading about or hear a lot about is the cell phone use or ban. How does that impact you guys?
So we started in November. This has kind of been a bill that's been put out there for a little while. So in anticipation of a cell phone ban, we kind of sat there as an administrative team, spoke with our teachers and some student groups and said, why not just start it now? Yeah. If it's having all these positive effects that other schools that have done it are reporting, why don't we just start it now? So we got some groups together. We decided to start just this past January. So we have one semester under our belts. Students are not allowed to use cell phones during instructional time. So bell to bell for each class period. They can, check their messages, during the 5-minute passing period or at lunch, before school or after school. But students are required to have their phones off and out of sight during instructional time. We do provide like a cell phone caddy in the beginning or the front of the classrooms for students who want to resist that temptation. They can place that phone in the front of the room so they can see it the whole time. But we also use phones for our hall passes and things like that. Right. So students will use that if they have to, go down and see their dean or guidance counselor or use the restroom during class. The phones are our hall pass system. They can also use their iPads for that. But overall, it's been very positive.
So it hasn't been any pushback from the students?
Yeah, we got pushback right away, which you're always going to get. But we communicated with them and parents and teachers. And once the students kind of got used to it, they started reporting, oh, this is kind of nice.
They like taking a break from the phone.
They get the break from the phone. Their focus is there in class. A lot of them are getting their homework done before they leave for the day, which is always nice for them.
For sure.
So really, I'd say the positives way outweigh the negatives. We did see a huge increase in cell phone related referrals the first 2 months of the school year. But once everyone got used to it, the cell phone referrals were negligible compared to what they had been in the past.
Wonderful.
And I think there's a lot of initial concern, particularly from parents that want to be able to communicate with their students in real time during the school day for safety reasons, and we completely understand, where they're coming from with that. But I think if they were to look at the amount of times they actually have an emergency that they need to message their student immediately, it rarely happens, and so that's not been much of an impact at all.
Okay, so you're talking about, the old guy here. If there is an emergency, they can contact the school. The school will contact that student in whatever manner or fashion is needed. Right?
Correct. And full disclosure, my daughter just graduated from high school this past year. Her school put a cell phone ban in right at the start of her senior year. And, knowing what I do for a living, the first thing I said was, do you want to just take one of our old phones and put it in that caddy? Like, you don't need to do that, right?
Phone.
Right, exactly. I was giving her the way out and the way around it. And she looked at me and she goes, Dad, I rarely use my phone during school. It's not that serious. So I overreacted as a parent, so I understand why other parents may overreact. It's really not as big a deal as people think, and everyone survives. And we forget that. We didn't have phones when we were in school, and everything was fine.
It worked. You're right. It's a lifestyle change that people need to get used to. We got used to having the phone constantly. Maybe we don't need to have it constantly.
Right.
Yeah. I'm assuming we covered all the goals or changes while it's coming out there, right? What about for you as a principal, especially in that leadership role? Because I know you're going to have that Institute Day in August. You're going to get the faculty together, looking into the next school year. Do you have any specific goals this year? Do they change year to year? I imagine to some degree, you have to adapt to the situation, right?
Yeah, the state's coming out with a new accountability system, which we think is a lot more fair for schools. So I'm really excited about that and diving into some of the data that we have to see where we'll rank amongst other schools in the area that are similar in our demographics. And we'll base our goals around that for the most part. But a lot of what we're going to continue to do is push, high expectations for our students, academic rigor, and then putting supports in place so that students can achieve their goals. And as always, we realize not every kid wants to go to college, not every kid wants to go into the trades or the military. Our job is to provide all of those options for students so they can explore the paths that they want. So constantly looking at how is the world changing. AI is going to be a big thing. So we're going to implement an AI policy this year for students to learn how to use it responsibly for their schoolwork and allowing them to still realize that you need to be able to think. And thinking is one of the biggest things we can teach you, one of the largest life skills that we can have for you moving forward. As far as new initiatives we're going to do, we're going to be pushing attendance. Trying to get our attendance rates back to where they were pre-pandemic levels. I think after everyone was home for so long, people have just stopped coming to school as often. Now, our average daily attendance is still above 92%, which is excellent, but we want our students there even more so they can learn all the things that we're teaching them. So we're going to do a big attendance initiative push this school year.
Do you remember the stats like pre-pandemic, what percentage attendance you guys had? I'm guessing you were like 95 or 96.
We were in the mid 90s, and now what we're starting to look at too is, and if you get too far into the weeds with the math on it, is we're going to stop looking at our average daily attendance, and we're going to look at what we call consistent attendance. So how many students are in attendance for 90% or more of the school year? So that comes down to about 18 days. So we're going to challenge every student in our school to not miss more than 18 days, which if you think about, that's
Sounds
an
like a
absence,
lot.
that's missing one day every other week.
Yeah, feels like a lot.
A vast majority of our students should be able to do that,
Right.
but it's going, again, having recently had a high schooler and two
Right,
still
right.
in school, it's that day you wake up and you just don't feel your best.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of not if you're sick. We don't want you coming to school if you're ill.
Right.
But on those days when you can go to school, you should go to school because, as we know, if we only worked on the days we felt great, nothing would ever get done, right?
And I yeah. And I know there's a lot of data that the correlation between attendance and academic achievement is, significant.
Academic achievement, success in life, just in general, is all correlated right back to attendance. So really setting our students up for success, not only with what we offer, but with life skills of showing up.
Yeah, yeah. All right, that's the academic part. We're in midsummer right now, or maybe almost midsummer. So how about for you? Do you get a vacation at all? Do you get time to walk away? How do you recharge getting ready to head into the next school year?
Yeah, so we're going to go to New York. We're taking the family there in July. My son's got a soccer tournament there.
New York City or?
New York City.
Okay.
Yes, he's got a soccer tournament in Manhattan,
Oh, wow.
believe it or not, which is kind of crazy. But it's also the site of the semifinals and finals of the World Cup.
Yeah.
So what a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play a soccer tournament in New York City during the World Cup. So we're really excited about that. We're going to go out a couple days early and do some of the touristy things that we've never been. So a nice, fun family vacation.
That sounds like a great opportunity. How about heading into the school year? So, I know you're always thinking about it to some degree, even when you try and walk away from it. When you know that you're going to walk in the doors just a couple days before the teachers, or when everybody starts to show up, the faculty and the students, what do you look for most heading into that next year?
I love when the people come back. I hate the summer. It's boring. There's no life in the
Sure,
building.
it's quiet.
Exactly. It's nice we're hosting summer school, so there's some life in the building, but I got into education for the people. And when people aren't there, the job's not nearly as fun.
Right.
So I'm very excited about that. I tell anybody who will listen, there's never been a better time to be an Astro than right now, with the facility upgrades, with the way our athletics and activities are performing, with the curricular updates and the things we're doing. Like there's never been a better time to be a Shepard Astro. So I'm excited to bring that excitement to our incoming Astros. I'm excited for our new faculty and the returning veteran teachers to come back. I'm one of those nerds. I like the start of the school year. It's my favorite time of the year, and so I always look forward to it.
I'm with you on that. You're right. There's a lot of positives going on. As a Shepard alumni, for me, on the outside, to look at the new classrooms we added, I've seen the new theater space. It's beautiful. I'm looking forward to seeing the new athletic facility. It is a great time to be an Astro. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're excited.
Good. Dr. Baker, thank you for coming in today. Thank you for the update. I hope you enjoy your summer, enjoy your trip to New York, and a great school year next
Awesome.
year.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm Dave Worsley. You've been watching PHTV4 Spotlight. With a spotlight on education, we've been talking with Dr. Tim Baker, principal at Allenby Shepard High School. Thank you for watching.